Hi guys, how are you? Happy Monday. Happy Views from SwagHer Tower Monday. How are y'all doing? Hi. All right, you guys, as you guys are coming in, I'm going to explain to anyone who has not been here before what Views from SwagHer Tower is and our purpose, right? If you've never seen Views from SwagHer Tower, it is basically me showcasing wonderful people doing amazing things from anything you can think of. I've had people who have, one of my guests was a guest that had a baby clothing line. Tonight is a black wine and spirits owner. I've had a publicist. I've had an author. I've had a public speaker. So you'll get to see some of everything, because you can't put amazing in a jar. You can be amazing anywhere, doing anything. So I want to introduce you guys tonight to our first guest, Camillya Masunda. She is the owner of Ebony Wine and Spirits. Let's see. Have you sent the request, Miss Camillya? Let's get this request. All right.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you? Oh, you kind of froze up. Camillya, are you there? Oh, let's see. Okay, let me try it again. I'm sorry, guys. Technical difficulty. Let's let her hop back on real quick. Invite.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm here.
I know, girl. You know what? Let me tell you what. I really feel like the technical difficulties are a me thing, because I don't see anybody else having an issue. It's like it has to be me. Like, people just be trying to find a way to stop greatness. It's just.
Listen, they can't stop this greatness, girl.
Ooh, I'm a locomotive, girl. I don't stop. And when I do, girl, I'm still going for about 1.5 miles.
Let's do it. And I'm right behind you. I'm right with you, sis.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to start. First question, and I hope you sat down and you thought about this one.
Girl, let's do this. I'm ready. Hot seat.
Okay, so how's the view from where you are right now, Miss Camillya?
It's a beautiful view. It's Monday, but in general, life is good. Once you go through things to get through things, and when you're on the other side of life and you're like, you know what? I'm thankful, of everything that I've been through. This year has been, it's been some ups and downs, but more ups than downs. And I'm just thankful for amazing people, amazing life, joy, and opportunity. That's how I look at it. I'm very happy on my end. I'm very thankful for the people around me. I'm thankful for just constantly learning and growing, right? That's what it's all about.
Right.
It's constantly evolving, constantly growing. And, the view over here is beautiful. I couldn't have it any other way.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your view. So go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone so everybody can know why you're here, because you're so awesome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Camillya Masunda. I am the founder and CEO of Ebony Wine and Spirits. A little bit more about me. I am a mom first of a college student. I am a serial entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, and your all-around favorite new wine girly. And yeah, I'm a bubble of joy and energy. So I'm here to.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. It's like,
that's a good feeling.
You have to excuse me, girl. I'm a little cornball, so you have to excuse me.
No, I love that. Listen, I love cornball. I love good energy. I love beautiful, bright people. And like if you were a color, you'd be like a bright orange and yellow. And so that's what I'm reading from you.
You know, my favorite color is red. So yeah, bright color. Bright color. I tried. I'm gonna say I tried because I still exude Wednesday Addams energy.
Okay. Oh, girl, I just watched the whole series. I watched the little.
No, don't say nothing. Don't say anything. Okay. I have one more episode. I'm on episode 7. I got one more.
I won't say nothing. It's good.
Okay. I'm ready though. I was supposed to have watched it this morning. I saved it last night. I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna save the last episode and watch it by itself. Cause I watched the first one on Saturday and then I watched the rest of them on Sunday and then I was supposed to watch the last one today. Girl, we all off time.
Hilarious that you even watched that. Do you understand how hilarious this is that you have watched Wednesday? Because
Girl,
who I think would even be watching it. So just to know that you watch
it. I have been identifying with Wednesday since I was in elementary school. Yes. Wednesday is, yes, she's a legend, girl. Yes. I can wait.
Show made her legendary, okay? That what they put on Netflix, they did their thing. So that's all I'm gonna say. Let you get to the rest of it.
Okay. You know, I'll inbox you. We can talk later.
Okay.
Okay, so this past year has been a busy year for your wine brand. So tell us about your brand and tell us about your why.
Okay, so this brand is absolutely amazing. It's not your typical wine. Ebony Wine and Spirits exudes culture and history and everything that makes melanated people unique, and really understanding that we are so vast. We are from around the world. We're from all over, right? We speak so many different languages, dialects. We have so many different cuisines, and it's just, you can put us in a box, right? Like even us talking about Wednesday, just to really understand how eclectic people of color are, and really amazing. And if you really, what I wanted to do was to create not just a wine, but an amazing brand that make people say, hey, I want to buy this one. I'm gonna drink one, but I got to keep this one because I just, I want to cherish it. It's a trophy, like what it means to be Ebony and to have all of these things that make you amazing and make your culture so amazing, just to have that pride. And so from that's how Ebony Wine and Spirits was born.
I like that. Everything, all of our culture in one bottle.
Yeah, culture in a bottle. That's what we call it. That's exactly.
I like it. It sounds like it tastes good.
It tastes amazing, sis. And you say why? Like, it's just my roots are Congolese. My family is from Congo, Zaire, Kinshasa to be exact. And it's so many reasons why. I think we live in this world where, especially if you're from, the States, United States, you can get kind of one track minded in the sense of who you are and being constantly told who you are and what you are. But really to understand that you have a history that is so rich and so deep and worth digging in and researching and really connecting with your roots, no matter where they're from, because the reality is your roots could be from any part of this earth. And to capture that and to understand that something happens when you have something to call your own, when you're connected to a culture. It's a pride and an integrity that enters you, and it makes you work harder, right? It makes you not just work harder, but it gives you a pride and a joy. And so in creating Ebony Wine and Spirits, that is literally what I wanted to celebrate. It's not your typical wine because it stands out in every way. Of course, you want to drink wine to experience, and our wine is out of Napa. It's an amazing wine. But even outside of that, this is an amazing brand that represents so much.
That's awesome. I love wine. Like I love wine. Okay, so not even a plug, but shameless hobby plug, right? I do. I make wine too, but it's like the little wine kits that you can go to like the wine store and do whatever.
I I love wine, period. So I want to taste it. Like, I love wine. If you understand like that side of wine, I'm a artsy person. So just to sit down and create anything and read anything and just put everything together, that's what this is. Whether it's a big bottle, small bottle, whether if you're at home, you travel to a vineyard, you're working with vineyards, listen, it's not small, it's big, whatever you're doing, and it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I've done it twice. So my first one was like a green apple Riesling, and then this one that I just did last year was a raspberry mocha port.
Ooh, okay, raspberry mocha.
Yes, and it was so good. I'm a port girl. I love me some port. So I am getting.
I know it's
what's
gone.
that?
I know it's gone. You drunk
it. You know what? I got 2 small bottles left. So when I made them, I numbered them, right? So the first 5 bottles that I numbered, they had a different color.
Ooh.
And so I wanted to keep them like a collectible, like the shrink wrap top was different or whatever. So all of them are gone except for 2. And then my husband made me make him 3 bottles with his initials on the label.
Aww.
So those are like the only ones that are left. But I'm getting ready to make a Viognier.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Is any of the apple, sour apple Riesling left?
Girl, no, that was like years ago. That was like 5 years ago. Shit.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want that.
Yeah,
I want that sour apple Riesling sound real good.
It was good. I remember it being really good, and it was really, really crisp and really light. I liked it. I liked it. Okay, girl, why you keep letting me go off?
Oh, because I'm that girl, and I can listen. When the energy is right, it's gonna flow, and we're gonna talk, and we're gonna have a good time. I can't help it.
But I got a job. Let me do my job.
Good job. Do your job, sis.
Okay. So you have worked with a Black woman-owned distribution company called Rusty Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about your experience working in the wine industry with another Black woman, where women of color are not prevalent.
Oh my gosh. Working with Rusty Rabbits, it was just an amazing opportunity. It really kind of fell into my lap. I'm very blessed to like attract really good people and good energy. I knew from the beginning, and I'm still in the beginning, this is my 2nd year, but I've always thought, international, just because of my Congolese roots. I just have always looked at everything that we do in a sense of globally and connecting with amazing people across the world and celebrating culture with them. So with Rusty Rabbit, I was able to, her name's Nicole, and I was able to work with her beautiful company. She's a wine creator as well. So she was able to show me so many different ropes. She was able to, it was very teachable. It was very step by step. And it was just a lot of love. Really understanding in this industry, it's not many, I'm going to say this, it's not, we didn't, most of us don't go to school in the sense of to get into the wine industry. We make different industries. And I know for me, that's how I ended up I'm thankful to have a business mindset as a serial entrepreneur, but wine is what I had to learn. And I don't care what business that you're in, wine and spirits is a different, complete ball game. And it may look like, hey, it's just get sales. No, but you really need somebody for me, I needed, when it came to distribution, we're in a whole nother country. So everything is different. The currency is different. Shipping, just every aspect was so different. So to be able to have a company that understood my vision, my wants and needs, and also my desires, and that's what Rusty Rabbits was for me. I was able to, like I said, learn so much, but I was able to keep the integrity of the brand. And with any distribution that I work with, that's the ultimate goal, to keep the integrity of the brand, to not have to sell myself short or sell anything else short when it comes to who we are, no matter how, large we grow. Or, I always wanted to keep that, hey, that touchable feel where people feel like I'm a part of something when I purchase your brand, that, hey, you are an Ebony Wine cousin. And for me, working with Rabbit did just that.
I like that. Ebony Wine cousin. I like that.
Thank
I like
you.
that. Okay. So, let's see. Starting in this industry, you had to open a few doors and sit at a few tables you weren't familiar with. So what is your advice for people sitting in unfamiliar tables this year and next year? Because, this year is over, so.
Oh my gosh, it's such a great question. So when it comes to us sitting at tables, I can only speak from a Black woman, a woman of color, a Congolese woman's perspective. And so what I believe that women of color bring to any industry, they make whatever they touch so unique. They turn things gold. If they touch it, if we touch it, it's gonna be amazing. So really understanding that, hey, you're in that room, that opportunity happened and came to you for a reason. So you're coming in to add value, to not be made to feel small, but to be big and to be large and to be you. And I think when it comes to us sitting at that table, we were always supposed to be a part of so many different things. So I think time is just now where we're channeling, when we're tapping into our ancestors, where we're really celebrating what we bring to every industry. And I think my biggest thing is to also be able to go in and be receptive, be knowledgeable, but be able to listen, having discernment. It's not to say, hey, I'm not going to go in and I'm not going to be small, but I'm also going to be able to go in and add value in a sense of being receptive to what everyone has to say, and being able to put that together so that I'm able to work with others, where I'm able to, piggyback and bounce different ideas, but also show that industry, hey, what makes you so amazing. So anybody coming to whatever industry, whether if it be wine, PR, whatever it is, just know that you have something that's so unique that makes you you. And that's what the, not to be small, but I want you to bring it all in.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Thank you.
So what is your favorite wine from your collection?
I don't like to pick when it comes to my babies. But if we're going to pick, if we have to, we're going to go, don't tell anybody else. It's like mama telling you you're her favorite child. It's the Kinshasa. We call her, oh, isn't she so beautiful? We call her the sun. When I say this one is amazing, it's near and dear to my heart. It's where, again, where my family is from. And it makes you want to go research what is Kinshasa, right? The history and the heritage of that. But also the notes in this are so amazing. I'm going to give you a few hints of the notes, but I don't like to give it away because I love for people to get, really experience it and taste it. And that's my favorite part, to be around people who are at a tasting or an event and they're like, oh, I taste peach, I taste mango, I taste So I am going to say that you have a lot of fruit forward notes, but it's definitely a sparkling. If you open it at an event, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be gone within the first 5 minutes. If you open it at home, you're going to drink it by yourself. You're going to look over like, up 1 glass, up 2 glass. Oh my God, I drank the whole thing. Yes. So definitely this is my go-to. This is my baby.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it. I'm going to look for it.
Yes, you should. I mean, you don't even have to do that. We're gonna swap it out. You're gonna send me some and I'm gonna send you some, and boom.
See, we own it. We own it, doggone it. I'm with it. Okay, so what do you see for the future of Ebony Wine and Spirits?
Okay, so for the future of Ebony Wine and Spirits, I just see just more growth. I think I came in the industry like when we really launched last year, like even during the pandemic, it was always hard work. But I don't say I'm underestimated. I think I underestimated what could be thrown at you, and not in the sense of like the knowing the industry, but just personal life and really having that balance. So I lost a few family members this year. So it was just, I dealing with certain things as an entrepreneur, and then understanding that, hey, life, in a sense, you have to learn how to balance and deal with certain things, but keeping life going, and having the right people in place to keep your vision and the vision of the company growing. So, and again, this is my second year in the wine and spirits industry, but I see us only getting better. And I'm so thankful. Any mistakes that we've made, I'm just thankful for it. Like, it's like I'm at the point where I'm doing this at my own pace. At first I was just like, oh, I got to do everything right now, million stores. I want everything right now. And then now I'm just like, I feel good. It's not, I don't feel rushed, and I'm not beating myself up for, knowing certain things or not knowing certain things. I feel like I'm really, like, you're in this marathon, because that's what the wine and spirits industry is. It's not a sprint. And I came into it and I love being able to share my journey with people, because I felt like I came in it and it was a sprint. I felt like we was on so many different platforms and we were running. I'm like, yeah, million sales, let's go, because we're in that social media culture, right? We're so like everything now, like grind at 5 a.m., no sleep, that
girl, yes, everybody.
And when you look at it, you're like, dang, are you living? Are you enjoying life? Do you even enjoy this? And I think if I would have been going at the pace I was going, I would have been like, okay, yeah, I hate it here. And what the universe did, I believe, was just, hey, like, we're going to take it back a little bit. You got this. We're going to keep going. But hey, I want you to learn, study, grow, mature. This again, it's not a sprint. This is a marathon, and I want to give you longevity. So I'm not building you. You're not just any wine and spirits company. You're going to be a lasting household worldwide brand. And if we're going to do that, we're going to take our time, we're going to develop it, and we're going to grow like we're supposed to grow. And I think that's the biggest thing, like, I see for Ebony Wine and Spirits. I see so much growth, but I see so much opportunity in learning and being able to work with others and just blossom, right? We're still like babies, and we're still growing, and we're maturing. And when it fully, like, we're not nowhere near our full bloom, we're definitely growing, but we're building those strong roots. And I think that's what happens with other brands that I've seen, like they skip the root part. And I think for me, I was able to learn, hey, them roots gonna have to be strong for where we take you. So if we don't build it right, if we don't fertilize the soil right and get poured into like we're properly and supposed to, it's not going to be what you want. And so this year was all about the roots and the soil and development and learning, and then just also finding time within myself to balance.
That's awesome. Because, I mean, everybody goes through that, when you have something that you believe in that you just know is going to work, you just want to push it out the gate, you just hungry. But there's a difference, you don't want to eat and get full and then you can't eat no more. In life, you have to pace yourself, but when you're hungry and you see it and you want it, it's hard not to want to just, go from 0 to 100. So I get you. It's a common struggle.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you could do a wine campaign with 3 people or a collaboration with companies, who would it be?
Okay, I mean, this is a no-brainer for me. This is very easy. I'm going Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Burna Boy. Why? Easy. Why Jay-Z and Beyonce? Like, come on. Like, their business knowledge, really understanding marketing, anything they touch pretty much turns into gold, but really not being like them working with other brands. They want other brands to shine. They don't want it to be something that they just created. They want it to blossom. And I've studied, just so much about them for so long when it comes to companies that they're own or they're a part of. And that's what I absolutely love. So if Jay-Z and Beyonce, if you hear this, Ebony Wine and Spirits, shout out.
You never know. Look, you never know.
Listen.
My last guest, she has a brand, and it is a self-care brand. She said that it was her goal to do a campaign with Lizzo. Little did she know that somebody that buys her products that cooks for Lizzo was on the line.
What?
And in the comment, yes, child. Then in the comments said, next time I cook for Lizzo, I'm gonna make sure she gets your products. But she knew who she was, because she's like, yeah, she's a customer, you know. And she cooks for Lizzo. And no, I didn't know you were on here. Hi, thank you. So it works. It works. The system works.
I believe it. I think manifestation is real. And I love I just love this question in general, like, because those are my dreams. Like when I say like who I know for sure, those would be my top people to work with. And my third, it's just, I just feel like it's the perfect mesh. Brunner Boy. Like it would just be it's a perfect mesh. Why do I say that? One, I mean, Brunner Boy, you got to understand, like, people all over the world are literally singing his music, not even knowing how to pronounce the words, right? But they're singing his music, and they're learning about culture from that. Like, so just to have a brand that celebrates Black unity and culture from all over the world, to be able to partner with him, I think that would be, if any brand could do it, I think this brand would have the integrity and I guess the guff behind it to say, hey, this means something, right? Not just other brand. Like I can name a million brands, right? And people do get contracts and stuff with them, but what does it mean? Like, why? If I'm not money, like, why? But this is really saying, like, hey, connecting the diaspora, you know, with like your brothers and sisters all over the world through wine, culture, music, like it just goes one-on-one. But yeah, that's who I would, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Burna Boy would be my top collaborations.
All right, so whoever watching, you know, I don't know who you know, but anyway, last question. It took time, patience, and growth to get to where you are. To wrap up our session, everyone loves a picturesque view, but people rarely discuss the process and the climb. So take a minute to reflect on your climb from how you started to get to where you are.
Oh my God.
And the struggle is real, but you know what? It's always worth it when you get to the top.
It is. I reflect. I'm so glad that I jumped. I'm so glad that when I was in college, I was just writing down these ideas. I'm so glad that I went to my first wine tasting and a vineyard, even though I went there by myself. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. I just had this thought, like, I want to try this or trying something new. And then just the concept of reading a bottle and reading about wine, even though I did not see myself, I knew what I wanted to see. And in my mind, thinking of what the possibility could look like, not even having a name. But when I found the name, I just knew this was it. It spoke to me. And writing all of that down years before it even came into full fruition, like before. And I think that is like my favorite part of my like beginning process of not seeing something and bringing something, you know, into reality. Just remembering the first launch day. I literally remember the first Instagram post, you know, like 5 followers and just wanting somebody, you know, just getting so excited about followers. And then now I'm like, gosh, we have 11,000 people like see this every day. Like that's a big deal. Yeah. Like even 1,000 people, if you really, like, I don't think people really understand, like, even when you have 1,000 people, 500 people, like, these people see what you're doing every day. They could be looking at anything else. So then for them to like, share, or comment, let alone go purchase. And that's magic, you know? Like, I think about that when I get, you know, discouraged, or if I say, okay, well, I didn't hit a sales goal, or, you know, where it's just a hard day, you know, when on those days, that's when I reflect on the beginning and the first time and the first post and the first note of encouragement or idea that I wrote myself. So to whoever you are, like if you have any type of idea, it doesn't matter what you don't have. It doesn't matter about the money you don't have. It doesn't matter about the help that you don't have or who you don't see or feel like believes in you. This is all about you. And if you can believe in yourself to write that note down, to make that post, or to just say, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Like if nobody believes, like I'm gonna still do it anyway. What you don't understand that it is somebody out here who wants to support you in what you're doing, no matter what it is. I don't care if you're selling pins and socks. Listen,
Yep.
It's that real that you can create whatever you want. And I'm not just saying it from somebody who, you know, hasn't done it. I've done it multiple times. This is my first time in this industry doing it. And I just believe that from what I'm going through, from what I'm building, I think it's definitely going to be such a positive light and story to so many different people because of what they can see. I think what happens is when you have to go through things. If you don't go through any struggles, people don't relate to that. You know, they just can't, like, hey, if you've never been through anything, you know, how can you even give me encouragement? But really watching people build something from nothing, I think that's just such a beautiful thing. And people should truly know, like, hey, no matter who you are, if you're watching this, you got to go for it. Like, if we waiting on next year, like, listen, it ain't no more years to wait. Like, we doing this. Whatever it is that you want to do, jumping, we going, we're pushing it.
Right. You're right. You're right. You are so right, girl. You're so right. Very good words of advice. I can keep you on here for days at a time. Like hours and hours.
I already
hours and hours. Anyway, tell everyone where they can find you, how they can follow you, where they can find your wine and spirits and all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, of course, you can find us at Ebony Wine and Spirits on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of that jazz. And then, of course, you can go on ebonywineandspirits.com. It's still Cyber Monday. All Ebony wine is $25. And if you order 3, you get shipping included. So I would say, listen, if you're looking for that perfect gift for the holidays, this is your time to do it. More than anything, even if you don't buy anything, join our email list. Celebrate Black unity and culture in every sip of Ebony Wine and Spirits. Follow us. We follow back. Like, share, comment. We give nothing but love and gratitude. And thank you so much for supporting us and giving us this opportunity to be a part of your platform.
Thank you so much for stopping by, Camillya. You will be hearing from me after I watch the last episode, I promise.
Okay, yes. Definitely.
All right, let me get you on out of here, girl, because I got somebody else. Go. Bye. Woo! Y'all know how I be doing. I promise you. Like, never talked to her before. Sometimes stuff just flows like that. Okay, so Shakeema, yoo-hoo. Shakeema, where are you? Shakeema. Oh no, Shakeema, where are you? Let's see. Invite. There we go. All right, here's our next guest, Shakeema. Hi.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I am fabulous. Okay, so first, I have to say, because you know I love the red hair, your hair looks amazing.
Thank you so much.
And the lips, you're doing it.
You know, I tried to look like something today since I was coming to talk to you.
You know what? Thank you for making me feel special, because I appreciate it. You know, people don't normally dress up to come visit me.
Well, I had to do it for you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. This is my girl, Miss Shakeema. Okay, I don't want to butcher your last name. It's Bouyer or Bouyer?
It's both. I go by the English version, Bouyer.
Bouyer.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Shakeema Bouyer And I am going to ask her first, our great signature question. How is the view from where you are?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. The view now is focused, it's refreshed, it's renewed, it's ready for 2023. I feel like what Camillya said, that it's bright. You know, the outlook is great, and I'm just glad to still be here to be able to, you know, continue on and look forward to the future.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like the answer. Okay, so introduce yourself to everybody. Tell everybody who you are and why you're here, because I already know you're amazing. So tell them.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shakeema. I am a Charlotte-based publicist. My agency is Mattie Clay Branding and Public Relations. We work with small brands, medium-sized brands in the areas of beauty, health and wellness, lifestyle, and some cause-based events and brands as well. I also have a second agency, RedHead Creative Media Group. That agency is very special. It's a little different in that we work with BIPOC brands only in the areas of beauty, health, wellness, and grooming as well. And we take those brands from concept to launch, along the way providing different assets. So that brand was launched we're in 2022 now. So that brand was launched in 2021. We've been kind of quiet, but that's also a part of that fresh outlook that we have for 2023, being able to relaunch and be able to really help people, you know, in our community get the awareness that we deserve, you know, within that industry.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So let's talk about branding. As the year closes, tell me, what did 2022 bring to branding that you loved? And tell us, what do you think branding in 2023 will look like?
That is a really good question. And that question stumped me when I looked at it, but then I had to go back and look and be like, okay, what did I really see that was positive for this year? And one thing that I will say is that I saw a lot of brands rebranding. And I think that's a good thing because people realize, okay, not necessarily where they went wrong, but where they needed some changes in order to grow. So I've seen people, you know, relaunch under different logos. I've seen people relaunch under different mission and vision statements. I've seen people do complete changes. And because I went through that experience 5 years ago, I could relate to that. And it's very refreshing to see people say, okay, out with the old, in with the new, and just do it, you know, unapologetically, because people think that when you're in business, if you have to redo something, that it didn't work out the first time. And that's not always true. So I think that seeing people rebrand and even start the process of rebranding was really good. Another thing that I saw was a lot of brands going through and really embracing social media. Like I would say, even though social media necessarily isn't branding or PR, it's still a part of your brand voice. You have to get it out there somewhere. And for some of us like myself who are a little hesitant for it, you have to be able to embrace it and include it in a part of your strategy. So I think that people learning how to do it the right way from a branding standpoint was really good as well. What's coming for 2023? Minimalistic views of branding. Sometimes less is more. I've seen a lot of beauty brands, also health and wellness brands, really do minimalist type branding. So that way they're setting themselves up to be continuous, to be iconic, to not have to, you know, constantly change, you know, what they look like. So it's going to be the same from now, maybe 10 to 15 years from now. Another thing that I've seen, and when I look at trending, is mission-based. So mission-based branding, mission-based companies. What we have to realize now is that the younger generation, they are more cause-based. And we've seen it like with the protests and different things. It's our young people who are really like being the voice. And so when you look at like how to set your company up, all the demographics, all the branding articles, they all say, you know, when you attach yourself to a cause, you bring more people in, and those more people are going to be the younger people who are going to make sure that these companies continue to grow and move forward. So mission-based, whether it be the company itself or your company actually being attached to a cause or a community base, is going to be very key in 2023 and going forward. And then the other thing is just continuing to embrace social media. You have to have a strong social media plan from a branding standpoint to gain awareness and get your brand out there to more and more people, not just because you have to do social media, you have to genuinely like it And for those of us who do like social media content creation and planning, it's a job in itself, so you have to give yourself grace, give yourself room to grow with it. But I think that the more that people look at the different platforms and probably identify their top 1 or 2 platforms and not try to learn everything, find their voice where they are, that'll help them to put it more solidified, more cohesive, and be able to present their brand message the right way. So I think those are probably like my top 3 that I'm looking forward to seeing in 2023.
That's awesome. And you're very right about the mission base, because it's like, but it makes sense to me. At first I was like, the younger generation is kind of pushing it, but we have so many resources and so many things that we should have used money towards where we wouldn't be in this position.
Right. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that.
It's falling kind of late, but hopefully it's not too late.
Right. And they're definitely going to be the ones, if it's too late, I feel like they're going to be the ones to pick it up and turn it around and keep it moving. Like the 30 and younger crowd, those are going to be the real change makers that we'll see for our times.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so one of your specialties is media asset development. Please explain what that is and why it is important.
Absolutely. So as a publicist, our main job is to get our clients interviews with the press and the media. But sometimes people don't want to pay the retainer, or they can't have it in their budget yet, but they still want to be seen. So media assets are very important because that's what you send to the press as part of your initial introduction. So you have to have a professional bio, not just something that you just threw together real quick. You need to have what we call now an EPK, an electronic press kit, which includes like your brand story, pictures in action or lifestyle photos, or high resolution product photos. It's also a chronological time story of any media that you've gotten in the past. If you are an event-based company or brand, then you can also include previous sponsors or partnerships that you've had in that. As part of your media assets, if you're doing it on your own, you also need to understand how to write a press release when you need a press release, because the press release is not completely dead yet. We're still resuscitating it. And then you also need to learn how to pitch, and you also need to, have those pitch templates. So part of one of the services that we offer, Get Your Assets Together, we actually come and we have a couple of different interview sessions where I'll write your brand story, I'll write your bio, I'll put together your EPK. I'll also craft a press release that you can use, like an introductory type press release, and even give you a template that you can edit, as well as a pitch template that you can use to reach out to media. But you have to have those essential things, because if the media reaches out to you, they're going to ask you for your bio. They're going to ask you for your press kit. They're going to ask you for high resolution photos. And if you don't have those things, then guess what? You've just missed out, on a press placement, because it's not for them to try to draw the information out for you. You have to provide them that information in order for them to find out if you are a fit for their media outlet, if what you have going on is newsworthy. As well, they want to be able to take your photos and place them as well. So with the way everything is going now, with a lot of our traditional print publications shutting down, you have to have, everything ready to go, because digital never stops. They always need content. And if they reach out, you have to be ready to go.
Right. That's very true. And it's very important. I think with social media, people are missing the point of other things that make their branding more valuable.
Absolutely.
They're so focused on everything social media, but you have to be able to function when this shuts down.
Right. And we've seen it. Like, it's been times where Instagram has had outages for hours. Facebook has had outages for hours. What do you do then? So when you have a website, or when outlets have, their online publications, you can still be placed. You can still create content. There are some people who don't believe that, Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives are actual press placements. I do, especially if it comes from a reputable outlet like SwagHer. SwagHer has, their website, they have their newsletter, they have, the digital magazine. So this is just an extension of that. And when you reached out to me, you said, send me it. I had it ready to go. It wasn't like, okay, wait, let me get it together.
Right.
I'm a publicist. I should, of course, have my stuff. But for the average person, when she reach out, you got to be ready to go. If you're not ready, you miss out.
Exactly. We are in print too now. You can have us in print now.
Yes. And I've had clients placed in print. Yep.
No, I mean like Swagger magazine. They have print now. They're not just digital.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so next question. What do you think everyone should do to prepare for 2023 branding wise?
Definitely have, again, those media assets. You have to have that ready. For 2023, I'm going to kind of join branding as well as PR because I speak from both of those places. You definitely have to have a strong strategy and your goals in place. I would say, if not the first 6 months, at least take it quarter by quarter. But by that second month in each quarter, you should already be planning for the next quarter. So you want to have a strategy for, I would say, community outreach. I would say you want to have a strategy for social media. You want to have a strategy for events and collaborations. You want to have a strategy for press outreach if you are a product-based brand where you want to be able to send for reviews or gifting or different things like that. So there's a couple of different things that you need to have in place. But from a branding standpoint, you definitely want to make sure that you have a consistent and cohesive look for everything. So people think that it's just social media, that I can just post whenever or it can look however. No, it's still an extension of who you are. So you definitely want to make sure that your social media looks good, that all your links are in there, that you have your website up and running, and that it's user-friendly, it looks professional. And even if you are using Wix or something like that, where you design it yourself, I designed my website through Wix and my website looks good. But don't just think that because you're doing it yourself that it has to look DIY. You still want to make sure that your website is a representation of you and your brand. So I think that for 2023, brand elements are going to be key. They need to be already in place. They need to be cohesive. And with anything that you do from a branding standpoint, PR standpoint, marketing standpoint, you always want to have your, I call it the client avatar. Who is your ideal client? What does that client look like? What do you need to do to attract that client, whether it be your colors, whether it be your logo, whether it be your brand messaging, whether it be what you offer, how you present that information. Always in mind is who you are trying to service, who you are trying to work with, who you want to reach out and say, hey, let's work together. Everything that you do doesn't have to be for the masses. Everything that you do has to be for the type of person that you want to work with. Exactly.
I think that's where people miss the bar a lot because they're scared to niche down. They're scared. They are afraid they're going to miss the $5 or $10 or, a certain group of people that they feel like going to spend a certain amount of money. They have a hard time understanding, that it's better and easier than to funnel your information versus just throwing it out there.
Right. You have to know who you're talking to because every customer is not for you. Every contract is not meant to be yours, whether it be low dollar or high dollar. Part of your branding also, if you are considering yourself a luxury service, your branding needs to look like you wanted to reach luxury clients. So if you're going to charge, I'm just going to say skincare, if a bottle of cleanser is $75, you need to look like you're reaching out to somebody who's going to pay $75 for a bottle of cleanser. Like, you don't want to just like stick it and go. Like, it has to look like the type of person that you want to reach. And somebody said, focus on your why. Absolutely. You have to know why you're doing it as well, because if it's just something to do, it's going to come out in your messaging. You have to be purposeful in your intent because people can tell when it's not genuine.
I agree. Okay, so this is a question that I like asking other publicists.
Okay.
The PR industry is constantly growing with practitioners. What would you tell a new publicist looking for her sister circle within the industry?
That is an awesome question because our industry is ever growing. And a downside of that also is that our industry is, how do I say this in the politically correct way? Our industry is being, a lot of people are entering the industry not having an understanding of what this industry entails. And so you have what we call the instant publicist or the social media publicist, but not the publicist who really understands the skill sets that it takes to be a publicist. You have to be able to write. You have to be able to interact with people. You have to be able to go out and pitch yourself. You have to be able to pitch your clients. You have to be able to land those results. So for someone coming into the industry, your sister circle should look like people who don't have the strong skill sets that you have, I would say. So like in my immediate circle, there's 3 of us. And, you know, if anybody knows the Women in PR team, we all, it's like levels to it. So we have someone who's not as tenured. You know, the top person is over 30 years in the industry. I have 10 years. There's somebody with 7 years. There's somebody with like 3 or 4. And then there's people in between. So everybody in your sister circle shouldn't be the same level that you are, because you want people who can fill in those gaps for you. So like, I'll tell anybody, my weak point is automations, but guess who's in my sister circle? Somebody who is strong with automations and systems, who can say, no, you want to use this instead of use this. And she holds me accountable to like different things. One of my weak points was social media. And it still kind of is, because to me, it's become a job instead of something that I enjoy doing, you know, like when we first got into it. But again, she brings in like different ways to make it work, different ways to make it still fun and not, you know, like a job. So you want to get people in your circle that I think can fill in the gaps, that can give you knowledge, and you guys can hold each other accountable. Have people in your circle that have different levels of tenure in the industry. You know, a couple of people who've been in 10 plus years, a couple of people midway, and then some new people. Because no matter how long you've been in the industry, we can all learn from each other, because there's always something that's different, you know, every day. Like there's different ways to pitch now. There's different ways of reaching out to sponsors and partners. There's different ways, like there's different social media platforms that pop up, seem like every day. So there's something to learn from everybody. Don't just get someone on your same level, because that would be ineffective. That would be like the blind leading the blind. But for anybody coming in wanting to be a publicist, I would say know your skill sets, know what your limits are. Don't try to do everything. Don't try to be everything for everybody. You mentioned it before about niching down. Don't try to be the publicist that services every industry, because you will burn yourself out. Find your niche in what you're passionate about. Anybody who knows me in the 10 years that I've had my agency, entertainment has never been on my to-do list. And where we're located in Charlotte, almost everybody that I, you know, kind of that I've associated with, they always have their hand in entertainment. Y'all can have it. I don't want it. Like, I don't want
when
it
I was in school, I said all of my friends chased the same stuff. I said, go on. Those are my kind of people. I can't.
Yeah, y'all can have it. Anybody who wants entertainment, who's an entertainment client, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't reach out to me because I'm probably gonna say no. But find your niche from what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, what you feel like you can do without it overtaking who you are. So for me, those spaces are beauty, because that's something I've been passionate about almost my whole life. Cause-based, nonprofit, because I was raised in a service type family. My grandfather was a pastor, so our family was always doing things in the community. So I bought that with me. And then lifestyle, you know, that can be niched down a little bit more. Queen Malika, yes, I have dabbled in the food industry. I do enjoy it. One of my clients is actually she was a baker, but now she's a content creator in the food industry. So yes, definitely reach out. But yeah, so I would say who can fill in your gaps, who can help you determine what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then make sure that you decide what area you want to focus on. Start out with one area, no more than 2, but don't try to service all these industries, because you will burn yourself out.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Because as soon as somebody say publicist, people rarely ask what's the specialty. They just say publicist and pick up the phone.
Right.
So yeah, you have people coming from everywhere calling your phone, and I've had that before. I've had to tell people, no, like, that's not my area, but I know somebody I can see.
Right.
Like, I see people all the time. Like, I know somebody for that. That's not me. I'm glad somebody sent you to me, but I can't do it. That's not me. So I have another question, of course. What does an ideal client look like to you?
Another good question. So one, I would say someone who already has their goals in place and they have a plan to scale their business, because they already know how a publicist will fit into their goals. Even though I can, start with branding and move into PR, but someone who already has their goals, already has their scale, even clients who already have connections with like their cause or their community base, those are good for me as well, because what I can do then is fill in the gaps, and then create the plan and move us in the right direction. Ideally, also, someone should have a very good understanding of what PR is, and how it will impact your brand. I think a lot of times people feel like, oh, I just want to be seen. I just want to be in the media, but don't realize that it can take you 3 to 6 months before you actually get there. Like, there's parts of this process that are not overnight, that is some growing pains too. And I think it's very important for people to understand that first 30 to 45 days, we're going to be working on your brand, like your brand messaging, making sure you have your assets. Because one thing I don't do is take somebody else's work and promote it. We're going to create it under the Mattie Clay brand. Right. And so that way, this bio you signed off on, because it was written by me, I can confidently, move this information out. So that's going to be like the first 30 to 45 days. The second 2 to 3 months, we're now planning out the calendar. Like, what are these events we're going to do? Who are we going to reach out to for collaborations? What is your target, media wish list, which we would have talked about that already, but this is how, you take it in stages. So I would definitely want a client who understands the process. And also, my ideal client is not someone who micromanages me, because my thing is, you hired me to do this for you. So you've researched me. You've seen, my outputs. So you know that I have the capabilities. So you have to trust me and understand that I'm going to communicate with you. I communicate with my clients weekly, sometimes throughout the week. So I'm going to tell you where we are, but I don't need you to be on top of me. Right. To get things done, because believe it or not, that's not going to push me to do anything faster. Like,
people don't know, people don't understand. People don't know, they don't understand, they don't get it, and that's one of the things that's like a PR pet peeve. Like, why'd you hire me if you just want me to do? Like, I said this in one of Freshie's lives. I said, if you wanted to hire somebody just to do what you wanted them to do, you need an assistant, not a publicist.
Exactly.
Because people really feel like you're just gonna stand over me and tell me what to do, like I'm some kind of robot. No, you need an assistant, because a publicist does not do that.
Right. And you need to understand like the roles of who you need around you. Like you said, an assistant. A publicist is not a manager. We're not a booking manager. No. That's a separate contract. A publicist is not an event planner, even though we may have that ability. That's a separate contract. Like, know what you need before you start signing contracts.
Yep. Okay, so really quick, because we are pretty much out of time, but I still wanted to get these last 2 questions.
Okay.
So, what does the future of Mattie Clay PR and RedHead Digital Media look like?
They, at this point in time, they look good. I've taken what I call a mental break for a few months. And so, like I said in the beginning, we're refreshed, we're focused. We are working actively to rebuild our client roster, making sure that we continue in our mission to make sure that we are supporting brands that are small to medium size, they staying within our niche, and then making sure that we are able to support brands who are also willing to give back in some way to the community. For me, that's a very important thing. For any client that I bring on, you have to be attached to some sort of cause or community-based event. So or ongoing project. That's a part of giving back, is a real big part of who I am. So I want to make sure that my business is also an extension of that. So RedHead is relaunching in January. Again, that is only focused with BIPOC beauty brands, health and wellness, men's grooming, from concept to launch. And then if they decide after the end of their project that they want to continue on a PR basis, we can just easily transition them over to Mattie Clay Branding and Public Relations to continue that relationship. Mattie Clay Branding and Public Relations is going to also continue to work in the beauty and health and wellness and lifestyle industry. Again, making sure that we are providing positive outputs for our clients, making sure that we are sending out cohesive brands that they're proud to put out and that other people are proud to see within our community, and then just making sure that we're consistent with everything that we do going forward.
Awesome. Okay, it took time, patience, and growth to get to where you are. To wrap up, I want you to reflect on your journey to get to where you are, because, you know, people don't really talk about what it took to get there. They just talk about, hey, I'm here. Look at me. So reflect really quick, and then we're going to close out so you can let people know where to find you.
Absolutely. Where I was 10 years ago to where I am now, completely different person, completely different brand, completely different agency. For those who don't know me or haven't followed me, when I initially launched my agency, it was the Queen's English PR in 2012. So my agency rebranded in 2017. And so part of that, you know, full transparency, was to separate myself from some relationships that weren't a good reflection of me. Because I think that's a lot that people don't also think about, is the people that you bring on, they're a reflection of you just as much as you are of them. And so when you take on clients, they're paying you, but they're not doing what you ask them to do. And so when people start saying, oh, you work with, you know, XYZ, why would I want to, you know, so I'm like, okay, let's just, you know, start this thing over. And so that's what happened. So the journey, I would say, be prepared for the what ifs, the why nots. Be prepared to rebrand. Like, your rebrand doesn't have to be because of something negative, and it doesn't have to be a complete rebrand like mine was. It could just be simply changing some things to provide a more positive or more refreshed outlook to other people who are looking to work with you. Another thing I would say is that, you know, for a few years, I was undervaluing who I was and my abilities and what I bring to the table. And so that's a part of the journey that some people are ashamed of, and I'm not. So where I am now is, no, you can't get that price from 4 years ago. Like, the game has changed. Like, who was it? DJ Khaled. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
It was Fat Joe. It was Fat Joe.
Well, Fat Joe, one of them. So, but when we say that, it's not to be arrogant. It's because we now realize who we are, what we bring to the table, things that we continue to bring to the table with, like, all the different trainings and knowledge and changes. So yeah, in a nutshell, that was my journey. Some ups and downs, but right now, you know, we're on the way up.
Good. All the way up, girl.
All the way up.
All right, so tell everybody where they can find you, how they can follow you, how they can contact you, because I did see a couple people in the comments asking.
Yes, thank you. You can follow me. I'm on the big three, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Everything is consistent, Mattie Clay BPR. That is also my website, Mattie Clay BPR. You can DM me. I don't mind answering DMs. You can also send an inquiry through my website. And yeah, just connect with me. If you are in an area that I don't service, I do not mind referring you out, but just keep in mind that when you come to my agency, if you don't have your brand strategies together, we can start from the bottom and work our way up. You don't have to be at a certain place. That's the one thing I like, is that I love working with people to create their strategies and then move them to where they need to be. So there's levels to this. So I can definitely meet you where you are. However, I need you to meet me where I am and be ready to say, yes, I do or do not have said budget. Just be honest with yourself. No love lost. We'll revisit it at another time.
Yes, because I can talk about budgets forever. Thank you, Shakeema. I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you so much for the invite. I definitely enjoyed it. You and Camillya had a great conversation too. I was just sitting here like clapping from the amen corner.
Oh, stop, girl. Stop. Make me feel good. Make me feel good. Okay, so I will be talking to you again. I appreciate you. Get all that honey, girl. Get. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
All right, y'all. I am over by 5 minutes. As always, I have enjoyed you guys. Please follow the ladies from tonight. Share, watch it over again. If you had pen and paper, because Shakeema, she gave like a lot of good stuff, a lot of good information for PR stuff. If you're interested or think you're ready to have a publicist, rewind it, watch it again and again, take notes. I have very valuable people on here. If you haven't noticed yet, I have very valuable people. So sometimes you might want to have a pen and paper ready. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Y'all have a great Monday. Enjoy your week. Bye, y'all.